What do we have?
Grammar and mechanics.
Grammar and mechanics. Yes, let it load. It's loading. Okay, no, not grammar and mechanics. Wait. Scroll down.
Yeah.
So you get subject verb agreement rules, right?
Yes.
The key for this document, subjects will be in yellow bold, right?
Right.
Verb will be in green underline. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now, remember, if the subject is singular, he, she, or it, okay,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
verb takes an S.
Right.
If the subject is plural, the verb does not take an S. Okay?
Okay.
So read it. So that's the rule. Now you read it.
Subjects and verbs must agree in number in addition to the explanations on this page. Also see the post on subject-verb agreement. If the subject is singular, the verb must be singular too. Example, she writes every day. Exception, when using the singular, they use plural verb forms. Example, the participant expressed satisfaction with their job. They are currently in a managerial role at the organization. If the
Just
subject is
one minute, 1 minute. So nowadays we have something called the singular they. Okay.
okay.
Now, if I refer to one person, I'll say either he or she, right?
Yeah, that's
But
right.
nowadays, many people want to be known by the plural pronoun they. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now look at the example. The participant expressed satisfaction with their job. Now the participant is singular. It's one participant, right?
Right.
But look at the pronoun their job. There is plural.
Yes.
Similarly, in the next sentence, they are currently in a managerial role at the organization. So this participant wants to be known by the singular they. So if it's a singular they, the verb will agree with, the verb will be plural. It
Yes.
does not end in s. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Yes, if the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. Example, they write every day. Sometimes, however, it seems a bit more complicated than this. When the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and use a plural verb, example, the doctoral students and the committee members write every day. Example, the person.
1 minute. When the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns. Here the two nouns are doctoral student. Student is one noun. Committee members. Members is the other noun. Right?
Right.
So the doctoral student is one noun and the committee members is the second noun. And they're connected by and. So you must use a plural verb, which is write. Right?
Right.
Because write is plural because it does not take the S.
Yes.
Next.
Example, the percentage of employees who called in sick and the number of employees who left their jobs within 2 years are reflective of the level of job satisfaction.
1 minute. So here you have two nouns, employees. It is modified by the percentage of. The percentage of employees who called in sick and is the conjunction. And the second one is the number of employees, right?
Right.
Who left their job within 2 years. So the verb is are. So when you have two nouns joined by and, they usually take the plural verb.
Yes. So when there is one subject and more than one verb, the verbs throughout the sentence must agree with the subject. Example, interviews are one way. collect data and allow researchers to gain an in-depth understanding of participants.
Okay, can you explain this rule? Can you explain this example with the help of the rule?
So this is just after when one subject and more than one verb.
Which is the subject here?
Interview.
Reviews.
Interviews.
Now, which are the two verbs?
Are allow.
Are is plural, allow is plural, interviews is plural. Right?
Yes, right.
There's one subject and more than one verb. The verbs throughout the sentence must agree with the subject. Right?
Yes.
Next.
Example, an assumption is something that is generally accepted as true and is an important consideration when conducting a doctoral study.
Okay, can you explain the same rule? Here, the verbs are is and is. So it's two verbs, and the subject is assumption, an assumption. Right?
Right.
So assumption is singular, so is and is agree with the subject assumption.
Yes. So, assumption. When a phrase comes between the subject and a verb, remember that the verb still agrees with the subject, not the noun or pronoun in the phrase. Following the subject of the sentence, example, the student as well as the committee members is excited. Example, the student.
1 minute. Can you explain the rule with the help of the example?
So,
What is the subject? What is the verb? And it says when a phrase comes between the subject and the verb. Which is the phrase that comes between the subject and the verb? Which is the okay? Tell me which is the subject.
the student.
Which is the verb?
Well as well.
No. Verb. It's in green.
S I is.
Is. So which is the phrase that comes between the subject and the verb?
As well as the committee members.
So now, when a phrase comes between the subject and the verb, remember that the verb still agrees with the subject, not the noun or pronoun in the phrase. So here you have a noun in the phrase, which is members. Right?
Right.
So it does not agree with members. It agrees with the subject student. Next.
Example, the student with all the master's degrees is very motivated. Example, strategies that the teacher uses to encourage classroom participation include using small groups and clarifying expectations.
1 minute. In the third example, which is the subject, which is the verb, and which is the phrase that comes between the subject and the verb?
The subject is strategic.
Strategies.
And the verb is include.
Which is the phrase that comes between?
That the teacher uses to encourage classroom participation.
So the verb agrees with strategies. That is, it does not have the S. Include does not have the S. Okay?
The focus of the interviews was 9 previously selected participants.
Purposely selected past participants. On purpose they selected the participant. Okay, got it, right? You got this rule.
Okay. So, when the focus is subject.
Yeah.
And was is verb.
And which is the phrase that comes between the subject and the
of the interviews.
Interviews is plural but does not agree with interviews. It agrees with the real subject, which is the focus. Okay?
Okay. When two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or is a singular verb. Example, the chairperson of the CEO approves the proposal before proceeding.
1 minute. Which are the two singular nouns?
Singular nouns. The chairperson or the CEO.
CEO. So which
CEO. Chairperson, CEO.
when two or more singular nouns, chairperson and CEO, are connected by or. These two are connected by or, right?
Or, yes,
Then the verb is singular, right?
right.
Next,
When a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or a pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is closest to the verb. This is also called a rule of proximity. Example: the student or the committee members write every day.
1 minute, 1 minute. Can you explain the rule with the help of the example? Which is the compound subject
It is the student,
or the committee?
committee member. Hmm.
That is a compound subject. Compound means it's made up of more than one,
Yeah.
right? It contains both a singular and a plural noun. Which is a singular noun, which is a plural noun?
Students are singular.
Student is singular,
Yeah. And committee members are plural.
is plural. Committee members is plural.
It's
So
plural. Yes.
committee members is one subject, so the verb is, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, these two are joined by or.
Or,
So, the verb agrees with the part of the subject that is closest to the verb. Which is the part of the subject that is closest to the verb?
yes, or,
None. The part of the subject which is closest to the verb. You have two subjects, student and committee members. Which of the two is closest to the verb?
committee members.
So that's plural, right?
Yeah.
Members is plural, so the verb agrees with members, so committee members. So it is single, so it's plural, right? It does not take
Plural.
sides.
Yes.
Next,
The words and phrases each one
committee
either
members. 1 minute. Second example, the committee members.
the committee members or the student writes every day.
Okay, 1 minute. The compound subject is the committee members or the student, right?
Yeah.
Committee members is plural, student is singular. The student is singular,
Yes.
right?
Right.
The
Yes.
verb
Right.
agrees with the nearer subject, that is a student, closest to it. Student is singular, so it takes the S. Okay.
Okay. The words and phrases each one either, neither, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, nobody, somebody, someone, and no one are singular and require a singular verb. Example: each of the following. Participants was willing to be recorded.
1 minute,
Example:
1 minute, 1 minute. So it says each of the participants, right? Let's
yes.
suppose you have a number of participants, 5, 6, 7, like that. Okay. When you add each, it makes one at a time. Each of those 7, one at a time, right?
Right.
So the verb becomes singular. So I'll read this rule again. The words and phrases each one, either. Either means one of two only. One of two. Either of the children means one of two children. Either of the houses means one of two houses. Either of the cars means one of two cars, right?
Yes.
Either, neither. Everyone. Everyone means suppose you have a class of students, everyone means the whole class together as one. Okay?
Yes.
Everyone, everybody, anyone. Anyone means someone, one person in the class, anyone. Anybody, nobody actually means nobody. Somebody, someone. Somebody means again one in a group.
Yes.
So each of these take a singular verb, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Next one, neither alternative.
Hypothesis was accepted.
Hypothesis. Neither alternative hypothesis was accepted. Hypothesis is a theory, right?
Right.
Now, neither means there's two of them. Neither of them actually means zero, but the verb is singular, right?
Right.
Mm.
For example, I will offer a $5 gift card to everybody who participates in the study.
Now you have everybody as a subject. Everybody means the whole group taken as one group. So
Yeah.
participates is the verb. It takes the S, right?
Yes.
Next one. No one.
No one was available to meet with me and at preferred times. Noun count means
Non-count nouns.
singular verb. Example, education is the key to success.
Which is a non-count noun there?
Education.
They can't say I have one education, you have two educations, right? So
Yes.
it's a non-count noun. So it takes a singular verb with the S, right?
Yes.
Next.
Example, diabetes affects many people around the world.
So diabetes is also a non-count noun. Cannot count,
Yes.
right?
No. Yes. Example, the information obtained from the business owners was relevant to include
Relevant.
in the
Relevant. Relevant to
relevant.
include in the study, right?
Yes. Right.
Information is a non-count noun. You
Uh,
cannot count. Cannot say I have one information, you have two informations. And then you have this phrase in between, obtained from the business owners, right? Business owners is plural, but it agrees with the real subject, which is information.
yes.
The verb was is singular, right?
Uh,
Hmm.
the research I found on the topic was limited.
Okay. Next, 10th one.
Some countable nouns in English such as earnings, good odds, surroundings, proceeds, contents, and valuables only have a plural form and take a plural verb. Example, the earnings for this quarter exceed expectations.
Earnings is
Example,
earnings is actually countable, but it takes the plural form, right?
right.
They only have the two plural form.
Yes, right.
Next.
Example, the proceeds from the sale go to support the homeless population in the city.
Next.
Example, locally produced goods have the advantage of shorter supply chains. In sentences beginning with there is or there are, the subject follows the verb since there is not the subject, the verb agrees with what follows the verb. Example, there is little administrative support.
Okay,
Example,
one minute, 1 minute. In sentences beginning with there is or there are. The first example, there is little administrative support, right?
right,
The subject follows the verb. In some sentences beginning with there is and there are, the subject follows the verb. So is the verb, right? Administrative support is the subject,
yes,
right?
right,
Because there is not a subject. If I say there, okay, there is not a subject, right?
right.
So the verb agrees with administrative support. Similarly, in the second example, read the second example.
There are many factors affecting teacher retention.
So see, factors is the real subject. There
Yes,
cannot be the subject, right?
right.
Factors is plural, so R is plural.
Yes.
Next.
So collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but
Imply.
are considered singular and take a singular verb. Some examples are group, team, committee, family, and class. Example, the group meets every week. Example, the committee member agrees on the quality of the writing.
So which are the collective nouns in these two examples?
Just
What is
example,
collective noun?
the group and the committee.
So collective means it's a group, right? Like
Yes,
collection of ships is called a fleet.
yes,
So collective nouns take a singular verb, right? Because they're thought of as one group.
yes. Mhm.
Next.
However, the plural verb is used if the focus is on the individuals in the group. This is much less common. Example, the committee participant in various volunteer activities in their private lives.
Okay. Now here, the committee is a collective noun because it's made up of more than two people, right?
Right.
Committees are made up of more than two people. But here, what is thought of is each of the committee, okay,
Mm.
is participating in various volunteer activities. Each committee member participates in different, so it's thought of as plural.
Mm. So,
Now see, if you say the committee agrees on the quality of the writing in the previous example, the whole committee is come together as one.
yes.
But here in the second example, the committee participate in various work. Each committee member is participating in different volunteer activities, so it's plural.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so
So,
that's it, right?
right. Mm.
Okay. So next, just scroll up to where you saw grammar and to the top of the page.
Yeah.
Then click on verb tenses.
Work tenses.
You want to do it today or tomorrow?
Can we do it tomorrow? Did it
Okay,
today?
tomorrow we missed one day, so we'll continue tomorrow, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.